Every year, millions of older adults experience falls, some minor, others life-altering. But what if we told you that preventing these accidents doesn't always require fancy equipment or rigorous workouts? In fact, a simple change in how you walk might be the key to keeping you steady on your feet. On My Reboot, we've heard from seniors across the country who are regaining balance, confidence, and independence just by adding this easy walking trick to their routine. 1. The heel-to-toe technique, a simple shift that strengthens your balance. Let's begin with one of the most powerful, and surprisingly overlooked, techniques for preventing falls in older adults. It's called the heel-to-toe walk, and it's as simple as it sounds. Instead of walking flat-footed or shuffling, you deliberately place your heel down first, then roll through the ball of your foot, and finally push off with your toes. This small change in how your foot moves can transform your balance and stability in just a few weeks. Here's why it works. As we age, the muscles and joints in our feet, ankles, and legs naturally weaken. We may not notice it at first. It might show up as stiffness when getting out of bed, or a slight hesitation when stepping off a curb. But over time, these small signs of muscle loss, a condition known as sarcopenia, can lead to serious problems like unsteadiness, poor posture, and yes, dangerous falls. The heel-to-toe technique fights that decline by re-engaging the muscles we've forgotten to use. Each step becomes a mini exercise that strengthens the lower leg, improves ankle flexibility, and activates the core muscles that support your entire frame. But just as important, it rebuilds the mind-body connection. It helps your brain stay fully engaged in every step you take, something that's essential for preventing slips, trips, or loss of footing. Now, let's make this practical. You don't need any special gear, and you don't need to leave your home. To practice the heel-to-toe walk, find a clear, flat path about 10 to 15 feet long. Stand tall, shoulders relaxed, and look straight ahead, not down at your feet. As you take a step forward, place your heel on the ground first, gently roll your weight forward, then push off with your toes. Repeat with the other foot. Go slowly at first, and keep a chair or countertop nearby for balance until you feel steady. Start with just 5 minutes a day, preferably in the morning when your muscles are fresh. Over time, increase your pace and distance. Many older adults who've adopted this habit report fewer wobbles, more confidence, and even a stronger, more graceful stride. It becomes second nature, and once it does, it helps create a much more stable foundation for everything from walking the dog to navigating stairs. Want to know the science behind it? Research from leading universities like Harvard and Tufts has shown that gait training, including heel-to-toe walking, significantly reduces fall risk in people over 60. It improves reaction time, proprioception, that's your body's sense of where it is in space, and muscular coordination. In fact, one long-term study found that older adults who used heel-to-toe walking drills 3 times a week were 42% less likely to suffer a fall within the following year. And if you've already experienced a fall or fear you're at risk, this technique is a gentle, safe place to start rebuilding strength. It's often used in physical therapy and balance rehab programs for that very reason. You don't need fancy routines or hours at the gym. Just a few minutes a day, walking with purpose, and your body begins to remember how to stay strong, stable, and upright. 2. Look up, think ahead, the mental shift that prevents missteps. Let's talk about something that's often missed in fall prevention conversations. Where your eyes go, your body follows. One of the most important things you can do to stay steady and safe while walking isn't about your feet or your balance. It's about your focus. As we age, it's natural to become more cautious with each step. That often leads to a habit we see all the time, constantly looking down at the floor or our feet. It feels safer, right? But here's the truth. When we walk with our eyes down, we actually put ourselves at greater risk of falling. Looking down shifts your center of gravity forward. It causes your head to tilt, your shoulders to hunch, and your upper body to lean. All of that throws off your posture and reduces the brain's ability to anticipate and respond to changes in your path. In short, when you walk with your eyes down, your body loses the natural rhythm and awareness that keeps you upright. So what's the better approach? It's called gaze training, and it's been studied in depth. The idea is simple. Look up and focus your gaze about 10 to 15 feet ahead of where you're walking. This helps your body maintain a natural, upright alignment. It keeps your spine tall, your core engaged, and your steps more fluid. Even more importantly, it gives your brain more time to react. You spot uneven pavement before you step on it. You notice a curb, a crack, a rugged corner, any obstacle, in time to adjust. That extra second or two of awareness can mean the difference between a confident stride and a dangerous stumble. In one study conducted with older adults at a balance clinic, those who were taught to use forward-focused gaze while walking experienced fewer falls and had faster reaction times when faced with unexpected objects. Their confidence walking in public also improved, especially in places like grocery stores or parks where distractions are common. Now, let's be practical. If you've developed a habit of walking while looking at the ground, don't worry. You can retrain that instinct gently. Start indoors. Pick a hallway or a quiet room and practice walking slowly while keeping your gaze forward, not staring up at the ceiling, but out in front, at eye level. Relax your jaw. Let your arms swing naturally. Feel how your balance changes when you walk tall. If you're walking outside, practice spotting landmarks ahead of you. A mailbox, a tree, a light post. Use these as your look ahead points. And if you're concerned about obstacles underfoot, use your peripheral vision. It's designed to alert you to things at the edge of your sight without requiring you to drop your head. Another helpful trick, pair this with heel-to-toe walking, which we talked about in point 1. When you combine proper foot placement with forward gaze, you're giving both your body and brain the tools they need to keep you steady. Let's take this even deeper. Walking is not just physical, it's mental navigation too. When you look ahead, you're not just scanning for obstacles. You're sending your brain a message. I'm confident. I know where I'm going. I'm in control. That mindset shift reduces fear, which is another hidden risk factor for falls. People who fear falling tend to walk more stiffly, take smaller steps, and react more slowly. But people who walk with their eyes up, their spine aligned, and their attention focused ahead tend to move more naturally, and more safely. One last tip, if you use a cane or walker, gaze training still applies. Many older adults get used to looking down at their assistive device, but try to look ahead once your device is in place and secure. It might take practice, but the improvement in balance is worth it. 3. The arm swing advantage. Why your arms are key to better balance. Now that we've covered your feet and your focus, let's move to something most people never think about when it comes to balance: your arms. That's right. The way you swing your arms while walking can actually help you stay steady, avoid stumbles, and reduce your fall risk. Think back to how children or athletes walk and run, arms swinging freely at their sides, naturally coordinating with their legs. That movement isn't just for show. It's a built-in stabilizer. Your arms act like counterweights for your body. When you swing them, they help balance the shifting motion of your legs and torso. They also activate your core muscles, which are essential for standing tall and reacting to sudden changes in direction. But here's the challenge. As we age, many of us lose that natural arm swing. Sometimes it's due to stiffness in the shoulders or spine. Other times, it's simply habit. Carrying bags, using a cane, or walking cautiously causes us to keep our arms still or close to our body. Unfortunately, that stillness can actually make walking feel less stable and more difficult. The good news is, you can bring back your arm swing, and when you do, you'll likely notice an immediate improvement in how balanced and confident you feel while walking. Here's how to do it safely and correctly. Stand tall. Let your arms hang naturally by your sides. As you begin to walk, gently swing your right arm forward as your left leg steps forward, and then your left arm as your right leg moves. This is your natural cross-pattern movement, and it's how your brain and body are designed to walk efficiently. You don't need to exaggerate the motion. A small, comfortable swing, no higher than your waist, is perfect. What matters most is that your arms are moving, and that they're swinging from the shoulders, not the elbows. Now, let's talk about the benefits. A study published in the journal Gait and Posture found that older adults who used a natural arm swing had better balance, more efficient walking patterns, and lower fall risk compared to those who walked with their arms still or stiff. Another study showed that a gentle arm swing improves walking speed and stride length, both of which decline naturally with age. Swinging your arms also improves your rhythm and coordination, which are closely tied to how the brain manages movement. That's why walking with a natural arm swing is even used in some therapies for Parkinson's disease and other conditions that affect balance and motor control. You might be wondering, what if I have shoulder pain or stiffness? That's a common concern, and here's what we recommend. Start small. Even a subtle swing is better than none at all. Try loosening up first with some gentle shoulder rolls before you begin your walk. If one shoulder moves better than the other, swing that arm more freely and keep the other one relaxed. Over time, as mobility improves, your swing will become more even. And here's a tip: if you use a walker or cane, you can still benefit from arm movement. With a cane, the free arm should still swing naturally. With a walker, allow your arms to move fluidly as you shift your weight. Don't lock your elbows. The goal is to keep the upper body relaxed and responsive, not stiff and rigid. So, the next time you head out for a walk, or even just move around your home, pay attention to your arms. Let them support your steps. It might feel odd at first if you haven't done it in a while, but give it a few days. Your posture will feel taller. Your stride will feel stronger. And your confidence will grow with every step. 4. The floor test, a simple way to predict your fall risk and improve it. If you could do just one quick test at home to get a snapshot of your fall risk, would you try it? No fancy equipment. No doctor's office. Just you, a soft surface like a rug or mat, and a few quiet moments. What we're talking about today is something called the sit-to-stand floor test. And it's not only one of the best ways to assess your balance and mobility, it's also one of the best ways to improve them. Here's how it works. The test is simple. You sit down on the floor in a cross-legged position, and then you try to stand back up, using as little support from your hands, knees, or other parts of your body as possible. You score yourself based on how much help you need. Each time you use a hand or knee for support, you subtract a point. The closer you get to standing up without assistance, the better your strength, balance, and coordination. Now, why does this matter? Because research shows that this test is strongly linked to longevity and fall risk. In one large study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, researchers found that people who scored higher on the sit-to-stand test had lower mortality rates over the next 6 years. Why? Because the ability to get up from the floor requires a combination of flexibility, leg strength, balance, and body awareness, all of which are critical for preventing falls. Let's walk through the test slowly and safely. First, choose a clear space with a soft surface, like a thick carpet, yoga mat, or folded blanket. Sit cross-legged on the floor. Take your time. Once you're seated comfortably, try to stand up. Don't rush. Notice how you move. Do you need to use your hands? Do you feel wobbly? Do you need to roll onto your side or use your knees to push off? If you're able to stand up without any support, no hands, no knees, you score a perfect 10. If you use one hand or knee, you score an 8. If you need both hands and knees, your score drops lower, but don't worry. This is not a test to pass or fail. It's a starting point. And no matter where you begin, you can improve with a few minutes of targeted effort each day. Now, let's talk about how to get better at it. The muscles you use in this movement are the same ones that help you get out of a chair, climb stairs, and recover if you trip. So even if you never plan to sit on the floor again, training these muscles keeps you steady and strong where it counts. Start with sit-to-stand exercises from a chair. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Cross your arms over your chest and stand up without using your hands. Then sit back down slowly. Do this 5 to 10 times a day. It's one of the best ways to build leg strength and balance. You can also work on balance drills, like standing on one foot for 10 seconds, or stepping side to side in a slow, controlled motion. If getting down to the floor feels too difficult right now, start with what you can do. Use a lower chair or practice kneeling and rising on a soft surface until your muscles feel more confident. One important note: always have something sturdy nearby to hold on to the first few times you try the floor test or related exercises. A heavy chair, wall, or countertop is ideal. Never do this test alone if you're unsure of your balance. Over time, as your strength and control improve, you'll find not only that standing becomes easier, but that you walk with more confidence. You'll notice fewer stumbles. You'll feel stronger in everyday movements. And if a fall does happen, your body will be more capable of recovering quickly. 5. The dual task walk. Train your body and your brain at the same time. What if I told you there's a simple walking technique that not only strengthens your legs but also sharpens your mind? It's called dual task walking, and it's one of the most effective, and overlooked, ways to prevent falls while boosting cognitive health. Here's how it works. Dual task walking involves doing two things at once: walking while performing a mental task. That might mean counting backward, naming animals that start with a certain letter, or even carrying on a conversation. The goal is to challenge both your body and your brain at the same time, just like real life does. Why is this so important? Because many falls don't happen when we're walking carefully down a hallway. They happen when we're distracted, talking to someone, looking for our keys, thinking about the grocery list. Our brains are busy, and our bodies aren't ready. Dual task walking helps prepare your brain to stay alert and responsive, even when you're multitasking. Let's look at the science. A study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that older adults who practiced dual task walking for just 15 minutes a day had significantly fewer falls over the course of a year. Their balance improved. Their walking speed increased. And their memory and focus got stronger too. This is especially important as we age. Our ability to divide attention, to think while moving, naturally declines. That's part of why multitasking feels harder than it used to. But the good news is, just like a muscle, the brain can be retrained. And walking is one of the safest and most accessible ways to do it. So how do you get started? Begin with a short, safe walking path. It can be around your home, your backyard, or even up and down a hallway. As you walk at a steady pace, try saying the days of the week in reverse. Or count backward from 100 by threes. Another option is to name items in a category, like fruits, cities, or animals, with each step. The task should be just hard enough to make you think, but not so hard that you have to stop walking. The key is to keep moving while your brain stays engaged. At first, you might slow down a bit, and that's perfectly fine. That slight slowdown is actually a good sign that your brain is adjusting. Once you feel more confident, try adding a little challenge. Walk while turning your head gently side to side. Or carry on a light conversation with a friend or family member while walking. If you're using a cane or walker, you can still do this. Just be sure to prioritize safety and take your time. You can even make it fun. Play music and try to clap on the beat while walking. Recite a short poem or prayer. Try spelling words backward. If you live alone, say it out loud to yourself. It might feel silly, but remember, your brain needs movement just as much as your body does. And here's something even more encouraging. Dual task walking has been shown to help with cognitive reserve, which is your brain's ability to handle stress and aging. People who practice this type of training are more likely to stay mentally sharp, even if changes start to happen in the brain itself. Let's not forget the emotional benefit, too. Walking this way improves focus, lifts your mood, and reduces anxiety. You're not just going for a walk, you're giving your brain a gentle challenge that makes daily life feel easier, more manageable, and more enjoyable. So the next time you lace up your shoes for a walk, try adding a little brain boost. Count, talk, sing, or think out loud. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And the better your brain and body will work together to keep you safe, alert, and moving confidently. 6. The 10-second balance habit, your daily insurance against falling. As we wrap up this series on simple walking strategies that help older adults stop falling fast, let me leave you with one final, powerful habit. It takes less than a minute a day, requires no equipment, and yet it can be one of the strongest predictors of stability and independence as you age. It's called the 10-second balance habit. Here's how it works. Once or twice a day, preferably when you're brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil, simply stand on one leg for 10 seconds. That's it. You don't even need to move. Just stand, balance, and breathe. Now, if that sounds too easy, try it before you judge it. Stand next to a counter or sturdy chair for safety. Lift one foot just an inch off the ground and hold. Then switch sides. At first, you might wobble. You might only make it 5 seconds. That's perfectly okay. Because this habit is not about perfection. It's about training the body to stay upright, even when the world moves around you. Let's talk about what makes this so important. Balance is a skill. And like any skill, if you don't use it, you lose it. As we age, the small stabilizing muscles in our ankles, knees, hips, and core begin to weaken. And these muscles are your body's natural shock absorbers. They catch you when you trip, steady you on uneven ground, and help you pivot safely. Practicing standing on one foot helps strengthen those exact muscles. But it also does something more. It trains your brain. Good balance is not just physical, it's neurological. It's your body's ability to quickly process where it is in space and adjust accordingly. The 10-second balance habit taps directly into that system, keeping your brain sharp and your reflexes fast. In one study, researchers found that older adults who couldn't balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds were significantly more likely to experience serious health issues, including falls, within the next 10 years. That may sound dramatic, but here's the hopeful part: balance can be improved at any age. You don't need to make big changes. Just a few seconds of focus each day can lead to noticeable results. Here are a few tips to get started. Begin by standing near a counter or wall. If needed, use one finger to steady yourself until you feel more confident. Lift your foot slowly, and try to keep your standing legs slightly bent, not locked. If 10 seconds is too long, start with 5. If you can't lift your foot, try shifting your weight to one side while keeping your toes down. The goal is gradual progress. Over time, as your balance improves, you can add variations. Try closing your eyes for a few seconds. Or gently move your lifted leg forward and back. You can even try turning your head side to side while balancing. These small tweaks challenge your brain to adapt, and that's exactly what builds resilience. Make this part of your routine. It's easy to remember when tied to daily tasks. Balance while brushing your teeth. Balance while waiting for your toast. It doesn't interrupt your day, it quietly strengthens it. Now, let's bring it all together. Over the past few episodes, we've learned that preventing falls isn't just about staying cautious. It's about moving with purpose, retraining your brain, and using simple tools every day to protect your strength and stability. Heel-to-toe walking restores natural movement. Forward gaze helps your posture and focus. Arm swings support rhythm and coordination. The sit-to-stand floor test reveals your baseline and helps track progress. Dual-task walking sharpens both brain and body. And this 10-second balance habit gives you daily practice that quietly builds strength. Which of these walking tips are you going to try first? Or do you already have a balance habit that works for you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to My Reboot for more trusted health tips made especially for older adults who want to stay strong, active, and vibrant.